which is your loss, but don't worry, I'm here to teach you. Unlike any of the fast food places I've been to so far, Swenson's is a drive-in. The car hops come up to your car, take your order, and carry out the order to you. Pretty neat stuff right there. Their signature burger is called the Galley Boy, which is a double cheeseburger often mixed with a little brown sugar for a slightly sweeter taste, a toasted bun, and 2 special sauces. And an olive is garnished on top. And guys, I'm not kidding, the Galley Boy is generational.
Oh my god.
It is such a good tasting burger. It was so fantastic, I forgot how good it was because I haven't had one in a few years. The sauce might be the best I've had yet. The bun's texture is very nice. The meat is really well seasoned. Unfortunately for Swenson's, the lack of vegetables will definitely count against it, but it seems that Swenson's is more heavily relying on the flavor of the burger as opposed to adding more vegetables to it. So we'll see what happens with that.
Do you want to say anything to the YouTube audience? This is Jalen. Do you want to... Hello.
If you've noticed, all the fast food spots I've been to so far have been in my area of Cleveland, Ohio, but sometimes there are fast food locations that are not in Cleveland, Ohio, and I have to travel to far, far away magical lands to eat them. Like Burbank, Ohio, which is 42 minutes away from me at a travel stop for Hardee's. Hardee's was founded in 1960 in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and I think it's the same thing as Carl's Jr. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. I'm like 54% sure. Hardee's is known for their charbroiled thick burgers, which are almost as thick as a Sir Yacht plot. Very thick. I got their Superstar Burger, which is a double cheese thick burger, and they ain't kidding. These boys are caked up.
Them boys is juicy.
What could be presented as a con for Hardee's having a very greasy burger, it does make up for in flavor and in portions, because again, these are really big burgers. If you're not particularly worried about how you're going to feel after having this burger, it is a very solid fast food spot, but it did put me on my ass, although it did taste very good. But again, I'm on my ass right now.
Damn, that was an amazing burger. How will it stack up to the other ones? We'll find out. See.
I just checked, and I think this sandwich has like 1,300 calories in it, so yeah, I'm like close the rest of the day.
It's actually 950 calories. Still a lot, but just had to clear it out.
The scanner has picked
Still
up
got
target.
cooked.
Now, I wasn't
Go
just
to the
going
dig
to this
site.
magical land of Burbank, Ohio, and turning back around. No, this professional dumbass sometimes has a plan, and that plan was to go down to Columbus to see Kelsey, but also as a secondary option to seeing my girlfriend, and not the primary reason, of course, eating at another fast food restaurant that is no longer in Cleveland. Incredibly enough, beforehand, we played music trivia, and our name was the Burger Deleters. Not sure where I got the inspiration for that one. And I've never won trivia before in my entire life, but for some reason, it must have been the juices flowing from all the burgers I've consumed to this point.
Oh my god, we won.
Oh my god, we won.
To find out what's inside.
Oh my god, we won.
This excavator is
We
fully
won
powered.
out of like 35
Additional
teams.
fuel
So to
cells
celebrate
will
the
be
Burger
used to
Deleters
restore
got an
its
absolute staple for American late night cuisine, White Castle. Since we won music trivia, we didn't drive to a White Castle because it was hosted at a brewery and I celebrated with a few beers. But also that is the best way to enjoy White Castle.
Excavation
After some
complete.
beers.
Look
And it's
what I
actually
found.
credited as the world's first ever hamburger chain, and for many reasons is widely considered the most influential burger chain of all time. Their signature burger is called a slider, and I was told as a kid by my dad that the reason it's called a slider is because they slide right in and out of you.
Proceed to the
And he
dig
wasn't
site.
wrong. Now, sliders are mini burgers with not a lot of sauce or vegetables, mostly just onions, a steamed grilled bun, and meat patties. So they are definitely at a disadvantage compared to the competition, but also, if a burger tastes good to me, I don't care too much. White Castle may have a long shot in winning this competition as they are a small mid-major Cinderella in a big burger league. Like I said, they are the most influential burger chain in American history. So thank you, White Castle. But sorry, you guys didn't win. The next morning, I drove 7 hours to Charlotte, North Carolina to stay with my friend Stefan for my next burger on this completely unnecessary expedition for a YouTube video, Cookout. My favorite thing about Cookout is that you can order 2 corn dogs as an entree and you get 2 sides, which can also be 2 corn dogs. So many times I've gone there and I've just eaten 4 corn dogs. So yeah, after a long day of driving through huge rainstorms in the mountains of West Virginia and East West Virginia and West Virginia. This is like the state Virginia, because I was in West and running into a lot of North Carolina traffic. I was very relieved to finally get into Charlotte. We first went to a trendy Tex-Mex restaurant in Uptown, and for some reason Charlotte calls their downtown Uptown. I never really understood why. Before heading to Sycamore Brewing Company to take down a couple drinks to help us have a true, authentic late-night cookout experience. Cookouts are located in the southern United States and are another late-night drunk food staple, but also can be enjoyed during the day without without alcohol in you beforehand, I'm being told. Cookout was founded in 1989, the same year Taylor Swift was founded, in Greensboro, North Carolina by a man named Dan Cookout. Just kidding, his name was Morris Reeves. I got a big double burger in their signature cookout style, which includes their homemade chili, slaw, mustard, and onion,
And protected from enemy fire.
as well as other vegetables and add-ons any normal burger would have. And yes, as I said before, I did order 2 corn dogs on the side because I have no self-control of my life. It doesn't come with cookout sauce, but since it's in the name, like cookout is in the name cookout sauce, I put the cookout sauce on the cookout burger. The meat and sauce absolutely carry this burger, and it might be my favorite meat I've guzzled down so far. And even though I may have traveled 14 hours round trip just to have a burger from Charlotte, North Carolina, even though there was a closer one in Kentucky, I am an idiot for that. It was worth it because the vibes were high. And yes, I absolutely detonated those 2 corn dogs. I love corn dogs. The next day, I said goodbye to Stefan, his brother Maddie, and their dog Fisher.
Fun times were had here, that's for sure. I also drove 15 hours just to eat a cookout, which is like the coolest thing ever.
And headed on my way back home to Cleveland. But on the way, I stopped in Wytheville, Virginia at a fast food location that just so happens to be the 9th burger spot, Sonic. Or more specifically, Sonic Drive-In. Not to be confused with the aggressively fast hedgehog, and at this drive-in, their car hops come in delivering the food on skates. I think. I'm actually not sure because I wasn't really paying attention. I was very tired. Sonic has a pretty wide variety of items on their menu, but I stuck with the Supersonic Double Cheeseburger and got onion rings and my favorite fast food drink, their cherry limeade. Also, huge shout out to Andrew for 1, subbing to the channel and being a real ball knower, but 2, driving almost an hour from his town just to have a burger with me. Please clap for Andrew right now. This clapping is absolutely mandatory. I didn't have low expectations for Sonic, but typically when I think about getting a fast food cheeseburger, they're not really on my radar. But that changes now. Aside from being a really good looking burger, the flavor of the meat definitely meets the hype. The vegetables are really nice and combat the fattiness of the meat nicely. And even though I like an original sauce on a burger, the ratios of the condiments to the vegetables to the meat to the buns is really nice, and the sauce was delicious.
You going to town, man? Oh my God. I'm yapping over here. You're going to work.
And honestly, guys, this feels like a contender for
What is
best
this
fast food
shit
burger.
even
I
do?
was shooketh.
Okay, so Andrew's the only person that knows what the score of the Sonic burger was. Were you surprised by the score?
Creating an
Okay,
ability
I am too.
imbued,
I'm very
casting an
surprised
ability
by it.
imbued with extra elemental
I'm not
damage
gonna tell you if
applies.
it was in a good or bad way though. You're gonna have to find out at the end of the video.
And as I was leaving the Sonic parking lot in Wytheville, Virginia, I got a notification on my phone from exactly 7 years ago where me, my brother, and friends Tim and Justin stopped at on our way back from a trip to Savannah, Georgia, exactly 7 years ago at this exact Sonic location. So now that we know that Sonic has the chosen prophecy on its side, they're going to be a tough one to beat.
That's crazy. That is nuts.
I took the very next day off from burger deleting to sleep and rest, mostly because the very next day after that, I was going to go to the West Coast to have a bunch of burgers out there. The day after that started a 4-day bender of going to Seattle Monday morning for 5 hours, Denver on Monday evening, Salt Lake City for a layover the next morning, and Albuquerque, New Mexico shortly after that. If only I was as dedicated to organizing my life as I was to deleting burgers, I probably would actually be a competent human being. That next morning on a Monday at 4:45 a.m., I had woken up to head out west and gone through TSA at the Cleveland airport, and that's when I made maybe the most devious move in this channel's short history. Now, if you remember earlier, I had planned on eating Shake Shack a week or so before, but since they closed 7 minutes earlier than 5 different sources of information told me, I didn't have Shake nor Shack that night, and decided it'd be a good idea at 5 a.m. to eat it at the Cleveland airport, and I almost regretted it immediately. Shake Shack was founded in 2004 in New York City by most likely a Yankees fan, which already puts them at a complete disadvantage in this competition. Since its founding, Shake Shack has been one of the fastest growing fast food chains in America, and I got the Double Shack Burger because that's their signature burger, I think. And if you guys are dying for another spoiler to this competition, here's one. Shake Shack's not winning. Could it have been because I got it at an airport at 5 a.m.? Possibly. Could it be because it's the 10th burger I've had overall? Possibly. I think it's more so just because I've had other fast casual burgers, and I just think that Shake Shack doesn't hold up to those. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's a bad burger. I just think it's a little overhyped. The meat is pretty tasty, and what sets this apart for me, a quality that I really like, is their melty cheese, which is the best way to enjoy a burger in my completely unbiased opinion. However, the sauce is very underwhelming. The burger itself is a little messy for my liking. It's not bad, it's just not great in my opinion. Again, that's just my opinion though, so if you're offended, please don't say anything to me, because I'm sensitive.
Today's gonna be an absolutely insane travel day.
That would be the first of 4 burgers I consume on that Monday, which I deem to be called Burgergeddon. It's like Armageddon, but with burgers. And then hopped on a 5-hour flight to Seattle, Washington, to a fast food chain only in this city. The next spot didn't open until 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and since I landed in Seattle at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I went to a random grocery store nearby to get Starbucks since it was started in Seattle. And yes, as everybody probably suspected, a grande iced mocha in Seattle, Washington tastes the exact same as a grande iced mocha in Cleveland, Ohio.
Even though it's made here.
Anyways, I then got to the next burger on this red meat expedition of mine, Dick's Drive-In. That's right, the place is named Dick's. I don't know if I should censor it or not. I feel like I probably should censor it. Look, I didn't choose the name of the restaurant.
All right, what's up, Ryan? Have you had this before? You've never had it?
Ryan is a real ball knower and subs to the channel, and heard I was eager to try my first in my lifetime. My third drive-in of the journey. Was founded in 1954 and currently has 9 locations in the Seattle area. Fun fact, they really take care of their employees. I'll give you all the benefits right now in case you want to be taking care of yourself. Wow, who knew could change so many lives? Anyways, I got a deluxe cheeseburger, which is a double cheeseburger. Don't worry, guys, I speak. And Brendan, another subscriber and real ball knower, joined as well. So please clap now for Ryan and Brendan.
You guys ready for some?
And also I found out they both have never had dicks in their lifetimes before, so it was really nice to enjoy eating meat for the first time with 2 other people. And after we touched meats, it was time to analyze the burger. The things this burger has going for it is the appearance is incredible, the melty cheese is phenomenal on the meat patties, which are seasoned incredibly well also. It's just a solid tasting burger. The bun wasn't anything special, and the sauce was just ketchup and mustard, but sometimes that's all a burger needs. Nothing crazy, just consistent results.
I'm eating so poorly right now. These guys got water, smart. Me not so much. That's okay. You want to know a smart decision though? I bought a Stitch hat.
And Ryan, Brendan, and I had all agreed we loved our dicks. In all seriousness, it was really fun to interact with 2 people from the Seattle area, and also Brendan makes really fun Costco videos on YouTube, so you should check them out. And Ryan was nice enough to drive me around Seattle and give me a tour of the city. Just kidding, I was only here for 5 total hours and had to get back to the airport immediately. Ryan told me a story of moving to the States from China in high school and is now about to finish graduate school and hopefully stay here to work. I couldn't imagine the stress that puts on him, honestly, so Ryan, you are an inspiration to me, and I appreciate you for supporting me on this channel.
Also, really quick, Ryan said something absolutely savage about my videographer and creative partner Bill's pickleball game, and I just wanted to share it right now. It has nothing to do with the video.
Hi, Bill. You suck at pickleball.
Ah, yeah. See ya.
I then hopped on a plane to Denver, Colorado, where I'd go to another burger chain I'd never had before, but was super excited to try, Fat Burger. And contrary to what you think about this place just from the name, the burgers are fat. Oh wait, you actually thought that. And currently I was thinking I'm at the only Fat Burger location in Colorado. Why am I here? It was founded in Los Angeles, California in 1947 and gained national attention in 1992 after rapper Ice Cube referenced it in his hit song, It Was a Good Day. They cooked these bad boys to order, and I got their King Burger, which is a 1/2 pound patty with cheese and the works on a toasted sponge dough bun. Whatever the hell that is. And I'll be honest with you guys, I've never heard of Fat Burger before somebody recommended me to have it for this challenge, but I'll tell you what, I'm gonna never forget them either, because this was an incredibly tasty burger. Oh my God. Definitely a little messy, but fortunately for Fat Burger, I took a lift to get here, so I don't have a car for this to get messy in. The mustard, mayo, and ketchup were fine, nothing crazy, but the vegetables on here were the best I've had so far. The meat was some of the best I've consumed in my life. The melty cheese was perfection, and the SpongeBob bun, or whatever the site said the bun was fantastic as well. This is genuinely one of the best burgers I've ever had in my entire life. Thank you, Fat Burger, for changing my life.
No joke, that was one of the best burgers I've ever had in my entire life.
I then took another lift from Fat Burger immediately to an In-N-Out location on the other side of town where I met up with two of my really good friends that live out here. Kevin, who I went to grade school with.
Those puppies on video for free?
Free. You just charge like
3 feet. Yeah, you just gotta pay for that.
And Matt, who I used to work with and had a podcast with.
You can say anything.
Anything at all?
Well,
Hang on.
maybe not anything. Hey.
The news is a hot place right now.
And also I met Dawson and Bryce, two real ball knowers who subscribe to my channel as well. And anybody that's crazy enough to trust that eating a burger with me in the wild is a good idea is a friend of mine. Now, if you're familiar with this channel, you know that I am familiar with In-N-Out, with two particular projects. First being I ate nothing but In-N-Out for a week last year, and most recently this year, eating In-N-Out every hour for 24 hours. I've been on record saying that their Double Double is the best fast food burger in the game, but is that going to hold true today? Well, I'm not just going to tell you guys. I will say, despite just eating at Fat Burger and this being my 4th overall burger of the day and not feeling particularly great at all, something is wrong with me, and the Double Double was freaking awesome, as always. One thing that In-N-Out really has going for it is that it feels like the freshest burger in the game. So I don't really feel like crap after eating it. I did feel like crap after eating it today, but again, that's because I've consumed more meat today than an adult film set on pizza night.
This
Don't
dog,
know why I
bro.
said that. For me, there's not a lot to say wrong about this burger. It is a staple, and it's one of the most consistently good burgers you can have out there. If I had to critique it, I wish the cheese was a
Round
little more
7.
melty, but honestly, I think that's about it. It's just a damn phenomenal burger. It was really nice to eat with
You're
two
not
of my
even
really
hungry, I
good
know
friends
it.
and make 2 new ones. And
You're just
also,
fucking in here
Bryce
for
is an
attention,
absolute
man.
savage.
So this guy,
Okay,
this
eat.
guy,
If you're hungry, eat.
he's a triple cheeseburger.
I'm banging on the door. Eat it.
What did you have before this? You had a double. I think you said a regular.
I then went back to Kevin and his fiancee Kristen's place to stay for the night and ended it with petting their really sweet dog named Roxy. I love petting dogs. Hi, Roxy. Before sleeping for 3 hours and getting up the next day to fly to Salt Lake City, Utah for a layover.
Also, the Utah Jazz is right there. Fun fact, jazz was invented in Utah. And I just made that up. It was probably invented in New Orleans.
And then immediately after that to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm going to try some new jokes here. 1 sec. New Mexico just dropped. Wow, another Mexico? We got another Mexico before GTA 6. And you might be wondering, hey, Sir Yacht. Hey, Sir Yacht. And I would say, hello. But then you'd be like, hey, let me talk. I'm like, okay, sorry. You know New Mexico is like a really random spot to be eating some burgers right now, right? Like, anything that would be in New Mexico would probably be anywhere else. And to that I would say, yeah, you're right. But I wanted to film a music video in New Mexico, so I decided to catch 2 fish with 1 net and schedule it around the same time I was doing this burger challenge. But since I suck at filming music videos, I flew Bill and John out to help me with just that. And fun fact, it was John's anniversary that day, and he was out here helping me with the music video, so I really do feel like a friend for making him do that. After doing a little thrifting to get some outfits for the music video, since I don't know how to dress myself properly, we went to the next stop on our burger challenge, Whataburger, a regional chain based out of San Antonio, Texas, and predominantly in the South and Southwestern United States. Whataburger was founded in Corpus Christi, Texas in 1974 by David Whataburger. Okay, that's not true, but I want it to be. It's still real to me, damn it! But what is true is Harmon Dobson and Paul Burton, the co-founders of Whataburger, wanted to make something that tasted so good that when you took a bite, you'd say, what a burger! And that has nothing to do with the name of the place. Just kidding, it has everything to do with it. And I always get the double meat Whataburger, which I got this time in New Mexico. And I don't know why, you guys, but it just wasn't what I was expecting at all. There was nothing bad about this burger. There was just nothing special about it. Like, it was just a very average burger to me. Maybe it's because it's the 14th different burger I've had in 8 days. Maybe it's because John and Bill had 1,500 cameras they were pointing in my face to film this project. I'm not really sure what it was, but it just wasn't hitting like I remembered it did. And that's the crazy thing about this whole experience. Whataburger is a very well-respected burger chain in the United States. But because there are 20 fast food burgers to consume in this pointless competition, it doesn't hold up with the other ones that I've consumed so far. So yeah, another spoiler alert, Whataburger is winning. Just kidding, they're not winning. So please forgive me if you hate that opinion. I will say, even though it doesn't go towards their score at all, the banana pudding milkshake they offer is fantastic, and I strongly recommend you get it.
More like, what a disappointing burger.
After doing some more thrifting, because again I can't dress myself, we found an absolute gem of a place called the Pink Rhino that is a thrift store, a pizza shop. Dory, the owner, makes her own beer and ciders there, and is also a music bar. Wow, what a burger and what a cool spot. Bad joke.
I call myself not butter because I'm not on a roll.
And then we headed out to the Airbnb, and funny enough, the Airbnb host we had are subscribed to the YouTube channel as well. Wow, this world is really small. And speaking of the Airbnb, this place was nuts. It might be the coolest Airbnb I've ever stayed in. It's shaped like a horseshoe. The roof is kind of a roof, and the backyard is a literal national forest. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support on this channel. I know I have a lot of fun and goofy like 99% of the time, but in all sincerity, I couldn't stay at this Airbnb if it wasn't for the support of you guys and watching this channel. You guys have just changed my life, and I get to do a lot of really fun things. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Joey, where you at? Oh, there's a lock on it. Oh, nice.
We soaked in the super cool Airbnb for a little bit and got settled in, but I'm here for work, baby, and these burgers ain't gonna delete themselves. The next spot was Jack in the Box, a regional fast food joint predominantly in the western part of the United States. Wait, what in whose box? Hey, yo, what the fuck? Aside from having the scariest mascot in food history, fun fact, Jack in the Box innovated a two-way intercom system and was the first major chain to use an intercom and the first to focus on drive-thru. Jack in the Box has a wide variety of items on their menu, but since this is a burger competition, I got tacos. No, just kidding. I got the double jack cheeseburger, and maybe it's because I haven't had a burger in over 2 hours for once, but this double jack cheeseburger was kind of hidden. It was super messy and the cheese was not melty at all, but overall for a cheap burger, it was a pretty solid one. Again, for me, I don't really give a shit about the presentation despite having a tier that's literally for presentation. What's most important to me is the no, it's not the presentation, it's the taste. And the double jack and the double jack cheeseburger definitely tastes good. I can't talk anymore. I honestly had really low expectations for this fast food joint, but if we can learn anything from today, it's that you shouldn't judge a jack by its box. As I stared off into the Sandia Mountains in the city where a lot of Breaking Bad was filmed, I really wasn't feeling great for some reason. It's probably because of the burgers. So I stared off and wondered what it would be like if I quit eating burgers and instead cooked meth. No, I don't know. After my generational shower with a
So in my tier list, I mentioned that I hadn't really played Lavos. And while that was true, I did regard him as somewhat strong from what I had seen online, but I never really gave him the time of day. Of course, his Prime is just released, so I have spent the last few days learning the ins and outs of him. And oh boy, was I wrong. He is so much better than I thought, but he comes with an issue which I think many people will agree. His elemental combos deter players. But the thing is, after playing and testing him for a few days, it's really not that bad. It's just intimidating. Don't get me wrong, he has a learning curve, but when you get past it, yeah, he's a great Warframe. In this guide, I will shed some light on him and go over how to play Lavos and how to work around the elemental combos as well as his builds. You can farm normal Lavos through Deimos from Father. At rank 3, you can get all of Lavos' blueprints. With his Prime release, the best way to get Lavos Prime will always be the same. Relic packs, Hepit for Lith relics, Ukko for Miso and Neo, and Apollo for Axie, or you can go Kappa for Neo and Axie relics. Firstly, before we go into Lavos' passive and abilities, we need to discuss his mechanics as he is a very different Warframe by design compared to others. Lavos has no energy at all, like literally just no energy. All of his abilities have a cooldown instead and don't require anything to activate, just as long as it's not on cooldown. The ability efficiency that would normally reduce the energy cost for abilities now actually reduces the cooldown reduction effect from Transmutation Probe, which is his third ability, and also there is Swift Bite and Augment for his first. We will go over what these abilities do in the ability section, so don't worry about that. Lavos also is affected by ability duration differently. The stat ability duration will also affect the status duration stat. This means the higher your duration, the longer your status effects will last that come from your abilities and your weapons as well. This is particularly good for status effects that deal damage over time. If you have over 300% duration, you have 3 times the duration on your status effects. Lavos is an alchemist essentially, a master of the elements. Each ability has an element tied to it. You can imbue each of these abilities with pretty much all elemental combinations. His first has Toxin, his second has Cold, third has Electricity, and fourth has Heat. These can be imbued together to make secondary elements like Viral, Gas, Radiation, Blast, etc, etc. You can imbue each ability with a corresponding element or an element from another ability by holding down said ability number. So if I want Ophidian Bite to have Heat, I hold down 4 and then cast Ophidian Bite, which will give me Heat and Toxin as well. It will also keep its original element tied to its ability. It's also important to know that you can essentially imbue the same respective element onto the same ability. So with the Ophidian Bite, it has Toxin tied to it. You can imbue Toxin again to increase the amount of procs you do. Let's say you want Viral. Well, you can simply hold down your 1 and 2, which is Toxin and Cold, which makes Viral. A very important note, which is an absolute game changer, is you can actually hold down both abilities at the same time to imbue them together, making it a lot faster than holding down one at a time. When I first played Lavos, I thought you can only do one at a time, but this is not the case. This mechanic does take some getting used to, and it took me quite a few times to get used to holding down the respective elements on the fly, and it was a lot. My advice is just practice. If you get to the point where you remember every elemental combo and the elemental combo that you want, then Lavos is absolutely amazing. Let's talk about Lavos' passive. When Lavos picks up an energy orb or universal orb, he gains status immunity for 10 seconds. This has a cooldown of 5 seconds, but when it procs after 5 seconds, you can pick up another orb to renew the duration, which means you can pretty much have this up all the time. However, if your companion is equipped with Thin Fiber, all nearby health and universal orbs will be collected bypassing Lavos' innate orb pickup cooldown altogether. Lavos himself has an augment called Balance Formation. This is a newer augment for him and is an absolute game changer for him. Casting an ability that is imbued with an extra elemental damage applies that element as 200% bonus to your weapons with a guaranteed status effect for 20 seconds. This duration is affected by ability duration. This will not apply to your existing status effects from your weapon, so it won't overlap. This is a very good augment when it comes to a gun buff Lavos or just a general build, as it allows you to change your elements on the fly to the respective faction that you are fighting. This was basically resupply from Saito 9 before Saito 9 was a thing. This is an incredibly powerful augment that allows Lavos to have probably one of the best ways to adapt to all pieces of content in this game. You can effectively have any elemental combo you want on the fly. Let's talk about Lavos' first, Ophidian Bite. This ability is imbued with Toxin. Lash out a Serpent Strike dealing Toxin damage. This will briefly open enemies to finisher attacks, and each enemy that was bit will heal Lavos by 15% of the total damage dealt. Ophidian Bite has a 8-second cooldown. You can also imbue this with Viral to deal more Toxin damage, or you can double up on the Toxin imbuement to gain 2 Toxin procs when you cast it. Ophidian Bite has an augment called Swift Bite. This augment increases the range for his first and will also reduce the ability cooldown by 4 seconds of all of your other abilities when at least 4 enemies are hit. This cooldown reduction is also affected by ability efficiency. This augment's sole purpose is to provide another way to reduce your cooldowns of your abilities. His second is Vile Rush. This ability is imbued with Cold. Dash forward, crashing through enemies while releasing icy vials. This is a movement skill as well as a means to freeze enemies, providing some pretty good crowd control. You will dash for a total of 30 meters. The vials will leave the zone, which will apply cold procs per second. Because it's not a damaging status effect, the cold procs will proc 3 times per application. If you imbue it with cold again, it will just add an extra cold proc when you cast it. You can actually stop the dash by jumping when you cast it. This is actually incredibly important if you dash straight into a group of enemies and you want to just, create a nice little zone around them and freeze them quickly. His third is called Transmutation Probe, which is imbued with electricity. Launch a probe that converts health and energy orbs into universal orbs and ammo pickups into universal ammo pickups. This actually affects Arcane ammo too. So Lavos is very, very good if you are a fan of heavy guns and arc guns, and allows you to basically have them infinitely in any mission you do. The probe will shock enemies, and the most important mechanic of them all it reduces the cooldown of all of your abilities by 1.5 seconds per enemy shot. When you cast it after 0.5 seconds, you can actually stop and hold the position of the probe by holding down the ability again. The probe will have a 10-second cooldown after it expires. This ability can only reduce the cooldown from each hit once per enemy. You can't double up the hits on an enemy and reduce the cooldown more. His fourth is called Catalyze. This is imbued with heat. Release 9 probes that fan out in all directions. These devices apply heat to enemies, and if you imbue it with heat again, it doubles the amount of heat procs. Now this is where Catalyze is amazing. The damage dealt is further increased by 100% for each unique elemental status effect active on an enemy before being applied with the heat from the probes. So, applying as many status effects on the enemies before you cast this ability, then imbuing this ability with any of the dot status effects like toxin, heat, gas, electricity, and so on, will net you some very hefty nuking potential. You can also make use of Archon Vitality to add an extra heat proc as well. That covers all of Lavos' abilities. You know the drill. Before we go further, if you could hit that like button, it really helps me out. Thank you so much, my lovely tenor. Now, how do we go about playing Lavos? Referring back to the ability section, your first ability is a means to heal yourself, as Lavos is pretty much a health tank frame, and Ophidian Bite is a means to reduce your cooldowns if you do opt for the Swift Bite augment. Vile Rush, your second, is mainly used to freeze enemies and to move around freely. Remember, you can cancel it midway by jumping. Transmutation Probe is arguably the most important ability because it's able to reduce the cooldowns of all of your others. Uses when there are a bunch of enemies in front of you, so you can pretty much just keep recasting your abilities. Catalyze is very useful when you apply a bunch of other status effects on enemies before you cast it, especially when it comes to dot effects like toxin, heat, gas, and electric and so on, which I just mentioned. Now that seems simple, right? Easy to play him. Well, yes and no. Lavos can be overwhelming to some because of his ability to imbue elements on the fly. It feels like it's a bit much, no? Well, it doesn't have to be. You see, when it comes to Lavos' elemental combos, you don't really need to overthink it. He is an entirely situational frame, in the moment. What element do you need? If you can make that decision, then you'll find Lavos a lot easier than you think. Fighting Grineer? Well, I need Corrosive and maybe Heat as a dot. Fighting Corpus? Well, I know that Toxin and Magnetic are the best options for that. Murmur? Radiation is what I need. You see what I mean? Even me, I tend to overcomplicate things and feel like I have to use every element under the sun, but the reality is, pick elements that are good for what you are fighting against. Or, pick certain elements that you enjoy. You enjoy gas? Imbue the hell out of your abilities and weapons with gas. Go for it, have fun. Catalyze with gas is broken. Use your second to spread cold and imbue it with electricity at the same time. Lavos literally comes down to what you want in the moment. Now, of course, this does come with some knowledge of the game. You need to know the exact elements you want and also what the elemental combos are. You need to know that toxin and cold make viral, or toxin and electricity make corrosive, and so on. But again, like I mentioned in the start of this video, if you just practice with them a few times, it just starts to come naturally. And when it does, it feels amazing. I think that's what I really like about Lavos. It's his ability to adapt to any situation. While being a very good health tank already, his capability to just change elements on the fly provides everything you need to swiftly get rid of your enemies. I want to talk about Valence Formation and why it's such an amazing augment. As we know, you gain
strange biological archive here.
feel
I
like
cannot explain it, Operator. As you know, I have sustained memory system damage. Ordis recommends leaving at once and welding the door shut.
duplicate. Let's do that.
Swift bite. Why'd that come off?
Operator, the sentients are not laughing at my jokes. Did they adapt to my humor?
I see. Blind range, that's fine. Get some negative efficiency. The streamline is important. Duration, we need range on this build, I would say. That's a cool stat. Range. It's whatever, we don't need energy, so we don't need that stretch. Could put stretch here. I need a rolling guard somewhere though. Default range is not bad. Could put range up here. I'm gonna put rolling guard here. This guy put umbral intensify. Oh, it's because he's trying to strip, but I don't need to strip. Okay, we'll do that.
Gain 200% of the element you have imbued onto your recent ability cast for 20 seconds. But the thing that makes this so powerful is the guaranteed status effect part. That guaranteed status effect is such a game changer and what makes this augment probably one of the best. This means that any weapon that has insane multi-shot, i.e. shotguns, or multiple projectiles that further spread into other projectiles, will keep adding guaranteed status effects for each instance of damage. The perfect example for this is the compressor, Yoreli's bubble gun that already has a stupid amount of multi-shot, and each bubble will apply an initial hit with guaranteed status effects and then explode, dealing even more status effects. Pair this with blast, and well, you get some crazy blast damage with this weapon. This applies to so many other options. It's literally not tied to a few weapons. It's technically any weapon in this game. Any high status based weapon, even crit based weapons with a good amount of multi-shot, this augment allows you to use anything and just change elements on the fly. Another extremely powerful instance with this is gas, which is another section I wanted to talk about specifically. Gas with Lavos is incredibly powerful. One scenario where this is the case is with melee influence and gas. For example, I like running the Kuva shield egg with melee influence because you can spin to win with this. It's so much fun. If you imbue gas with Valence formation, you can spread those electric procs and gas procs at the same time with melee influence, nuking rooms. The damage scaling with melee influence is broken, and with gas, it's even better. On the flip side, you can also imbue electricity to gain more melee influence damage. You don't need to opt for gas. Gas is also incredibly powerful with his fourth ability, Catalyze. Because of its 100% damage increase from each unique status effect, this allows your fourth to also create a similar result that melee influence with gas gives, deleting groups of enemies. It's a fun option. Now that's great and all, but the icing on the cake with all of this is Lavos' passive.
There's two over there. I don't know where the third
Yeah, gonna run up your ramp maybe. Maybe.
Oh, next to me. I'm just dead. I'm just dead. He's one shot here.
Kill Ballistic. I'm gonna go for the 1 HP guy. Where is he?
He just took a cell or a bat right here. Right around.
Kill him. I'm gonna res.
Nice. I got it. Oh, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, okay.
I got you, friend.
Do they go right side or no? Can I land that choke?
They were in the choke. I don't know what they're doing. I haven't seen them.
One's running left onto the little height thingy here.
That's a rep, man.
I don't see anybody here.
Like, he's turning. Oh, they're all turning.
I'm
Ballistic 100 purple.
Go ballistic. Someone ziplining to the height. Pathy.
36 on him. Cracked him. I got beamed by ballistic. I'm good though. This guy ran back. Maybe it was some Watson. Someone beamed me. I think it was Watson.
Watson jumped.
He's got 3 scouts staring at him like sharks. You got away, bro.
I wish I had a sight. Iron sight is killing me.
Didn't you kill 2 over here?
Yeah.
Do this shit now.
Killed Sexton Shuffle.
Where's the other guy? Where's the ballistic?
The Watson crawled over here somewhere.
I see him.
Shit. Oh, well, thank you. Actually, I'll take that. I'll do a little confiscating.
$171, and then I cracked one, and then I did like 300 damage. Plus, more than that.
Giving my shields a recharge.
You don't really want to do void blood.
100 on the left.
Level 1, dead.
Ash crack.
Freaking.
Hey guys, I'm a ballistic player. I use the Devo.
You rest him?
I am. I just got them. Where is he?
I died. At 60 health.
You guys,
one guy. You can just take. He's right here. Messiah, that was a greedy ape.
Huh?
She's never gonna be your best pick though.
A generational shower review. It was time to film part of the music video for my new song, Anywhere Else. It's out now, wherever you listen to music, so run it up, baby. And since we were in New Mexico, Bill, John, and I had to get some Mexican food featuring their iconic green chilies. And I'm serious, if you want to do like a food trip, go to New Mexico because they have some of the best food in the country. It's unreal. But this is a burger video, so let's get back to that.
Phil Wade. How's it going? I'm doing good. It's very weird that I can hear you right now.
The next day, John woke up and lifted, and I woke up and ate Pepto-Bismol. But then I ran 2 miles, and 2 miles here in this altitude feels like 6. Either that or the burgers were really weighing me down, but I'd like to think that it was the altitude instead for my physical health. But then we headed to the next burger spot and maybe the most iconic fast casual chain in America, Five Guys. Late last year, I ate nothing but Five Guys in Hawaii for a week and deemed it as the most expensive Five Guys in the world, with literally no merit or reasoning whatsoever other than the fact that I wanted to film a video in Hawaii, damn it. So it's time to find out if 1, New Mexico Five Guys hits harder than Hawaii's Five Guys, and 2, does Five Guys have the best fast food burger? I got a cheeseburger, which is literally a double cheeseburger, and a little cheeseburger is just a cheeseburger. So Five Guys clearly doesn't know what portions are. Now, we do have them back in Cleveland, but I'm running out of time to put out this video, and I feel really bad that I keep delaying it, and I want you guys to watch it because that makes me happy when you guys watch it. So I'm eating Five Guys in New Mexico. And yeah, there's just not much I can really say about this burger other than it's one of the best burgers I've ever had. Possibly the best. It has the best melted cheese by far, probably my favorite bun, the best meat taste, fresh vegetables, and an elite combination of sauces. If there was like a knock towards Five Guys, it's definitely like the messiest fast food burger you can get, and it is very greasy and very heavy, but again, I'm not really worried about my health when I come here. The only thing I'm worried about when I come here is inhaling Five Guys. We immediately had a workout afterwards to work off at least 2 of the Five Guys from my stomach, so I played pickleball against Bill and John at the same time.
No. People don't do that.
I'm different. He won 3 games. But Bill really wanted me to let you guys know that he and John both beat me, a singular pickleball player, one time. He was really upset when I told him that I wasn't going to put that in the video. So please comment below, congratulations, Bill, on beating Sir Yacht for once, or something like that. Just so Bill can see it and it'll make his day. I think he'll really appreciate it. We then went back to the Airbnb, and John and I worked out a little bit more to sweat off at least one more of the 5 guys before it was time to take the final and most important shot of the music video. The fake fan shot. Luke is a real ball knower and subs to the channel as well. Shout out everybody that showed up on this trip. Like all the subs. You guys rock. Seth and Garen from Alt Sauce played guitar and bass, and John played drums. After a banger music video session, Luke, Seth, and Garen took us to a local Albuquerque staple, Frontier, where I had some more generational Mexican food, and with green chilies again. New Mexico, man. So elite. But back to the burgers. I think it especially helped that I was eating something that wasn't a burger, but yeah, it was incredible. Hey, yo. The next morning, we woke up to get some B-roll for music video shots at a nearby tram overlooking the Sandia Mountains and the Cibola National Forest.
Unbelievable, dude. I need a Costco with me. Dude, imagine a Buc-ee's right there. Sean, what do you think? This is the best you've seen? It's Costco.
Before eating lunch at another local staple called Flying Star Cafe, and then eating a second lunch at Freddy's for Burger 17. What can I say? Man's gotta eat. Freddy's, like White Castle, was also created in Wichita, Kansas, but it was founded a lot later in 2002. We have some Freddy's locations in Cleveland, but you know what they say, when in Rome, New Mexico. Freddy's is known for their custard as well as their steak burgers, and I got the Freddy's Original Double. Now, I know I just ate another meal literally like 10 minutes ago from another location, but I promise you, doing that has nothing to do with this. It doesn't factor into my decision. To prove that, even though I had Fat Burger right before, I do think In-N-Out's gonna rank really highly in this challenge. You can trust me because I'm from the future. Hey everyone, it's me here from the future. I had already recorded this part previously, but I am from the future. So you can trust me when I say that Freddy's is a good burger, but it's nothing crazy. I just might not be the biggest steak burger fan, as the appearance is not my favorite. The bun and sauce are also lacking, but the meat has some good flavor to it. The vegetables are pretty solid, and it's not particularly a messy burger, which is nice. Not my favorite burger, but then again, a solid burger. I will say it won't be solid much longer. It's going to be a liquid in about 10 minutes because my stomach is absolutely cooked. Sorry, TMI. We then said goodbye to New Mexico, and then I said goodbye to Bill and John as we got back to Cleveland, and I went to bed and rested for a couple days before eating the final 3 burgers of this pointless eating competition. It was Memorial Day weekend, and for the past 48 hours, I completely neglected to eat the final 3 burgers of this challenge and do something that I like to call eating healthy, which failed instantly as that Friday I ate KFC while tailgating before a Jason Aldean concert later that night. Yeah, KFC is way unhealthier than the other places I was eating. It is good though. So that Sunday I had to eat 3 burgers in one day because I feel bad that this project isn't out yet and I have to edit it right now. And I drove about an hour away to the first of 3 spots today, which was A&W, a brand that is most known for their delicious root beer, but is also the 4th and final drive-in of this challenge. Drive-ins just like aren't really a thing anymore, so I very much enjoy going to them because they're just so uncommon.
As you conquer the foe,
it was founded over 100 years ago in 1923 in Lodi, California, and actually they're the first American chain to reach that 100-year milestone. I wanted to breeze by these 3 burger chains, and I just didn't have a lot of expectations for A&W. I just know them for their root beer floats, but it was a damn good burger. It was a really good burger. Are you doing okay? Yeah, doing great. How about you? Oh, I'm sorry. Just asking if I was okay because my headlights were still on. I was like, yeah, I'm good. How are you? She's like, no, your headlights are on.
that.
Like, it didn't matter that it was the 18th burger I've had in 2 weeks. It was absolutely delicious. The cheeseburger, which is technically a double cheeseburger. Not sure why restaurants can't count the patties, but I'm pretty sure a double cheeseburger means 2. Was not messy, had great flavor in the meat, had a decent bun, a solid vegetable to meat ratio, and the sauce ratio was really good as well. I was genuinely shocked by how much I enjoyed this burger. I'm gonna stop at this place a lot more in the future, and it's not because of their root beer floats. Okay, it's partially because of the root beer floats. The second to last stop on this journey is a little unconventional, as Steak and Shake used to be a casual diner burger joint, and that was until 2021, very recently, when the company completely pivoted to just fast food. And since going to Steak and Shake was how I occupied my time in college between midnight and 3 a.m., I had to make sure to include them on this list and try them for the very first time as a fast food joint. I got a double steak burger with cheese and proceeded to eat it in the parking lot of the Akron, Ohio Steak and Shake. And yeah, it's not the best fast food burger in the competition. Spoiler alert, it didn't win. And again, it's not bad, but this is a very intense competition. There are 19 other burgers trying to take that crown, including Burger King, who literally has King in the name. But that means after having Steak and Shake, I only had one more burger to consume before this completely unnecessary challenge was over for good. And that place was BurgerFi, and the nearest location was in Cuyahoga Falls. They pride themselves on all natural burgers aimed at the better burger sector of the market, and that's all hunky-dory and stuff, and I was pretty excited to get a BurgerFi cheeseburger, but it doesn't really matter, to me at least, how the burger gets there. It just matters how the burger tastes, and I was heavily disappointed. The bun, first off, was toasted but was cold in the center, which really confused me because how could a burger be toasted and also cold at the same time? It wasn't my favorite tasting burger by any means, but it did feel like an all-natural version of one, I guess. It's kind of funny because I literally just it's kind of funny because I literally just had maybe the most unhealthy burger so far in the challenge, and this was maybe the healthiest. So apparently I don't like the polar opposites. It's somewhere in the middle.
To the burgers that participated and made it this far in the final 20 of this challenge, congratulations for being here. Some of you were amazing. Some of you weren't that great. But you know what? I ate all of you. Pause.
But anyways, after turning my stomach into a butcher shop for red meat consumption for the past 2 weeks, it's now time to reveal the results that nobody asked for. I'll get through these quickly and let you know what the overall scores were, but if you want to pause and see what the individual tier rankings were for each burger, you can do so on your own time. Which, as a quick refresher, those 8 categories out of a possible 100 points are overall appearance 5 points, bun 10 points, meat 30 points, cheese 10 points, sauce 15 points, vegetables 15 points, messiness 5 points, and burgerness 10 points. So without further ado, let's get to burgers 16 through 20. Tied for last were actually my last 2 burgers on this expedition, BurgerFi and Steak and Shake. And somebody's got to finish in last. And it's not going to be At 18th is Whataburger with a score of 71. 17th is Freddy's with a score of 73. And White Castle finishes out the first 25% of the contest in 16th place with a score of 75. Now let's go to burgers 11 through 15. In 15th place was Jack in the Box with a score of 76.5. 14th was Hardee's with a score of 78. Tied for 12th place was kind of a shock for me here, Culver's and Shake Shack. And finishing in 11th place, another shock for me, was Wendy's Dave's Double with our first score so far over 80 and 81 to be exact. And now it's time for the top 10 best fast food burgers in the country according to me. And wow, you guys, this one was really tough to decide. In 10th place with a score of 81.5 out of 100 was Burger King's Whopper. And slightly above it with a score of 82.5 in 9th place was McDonald's Big Mac. If you would have told me before the competition that 11th place would be Wendy's, 10th would be Burger King, and 9th would be McDonald's, I would have called you crazy. You're crazy. And finishing ahead of McDonald's and Burger King in 8th place with a score of 83 overall was Sonic. I know, I'm just as shocked as you guys, to be honest. I just call them as I see them. In 7th place with a score of 84 out of 100 is Drive-In, number 1 on silliest and goofiest names. And rounding off the first 15 to go in 6th place with a score of 85 out of 100 possible points. Oh my goodness, how did this finish in 6th place? A&W's Cheeseburger, which again is secretly just a double cheeseburger for the real ball knowers. And now for the really sweaty part of the video, the top 5 best fast food burgers in the country according to this dumbass. Let's start at 5. With a score of 87.5 out of 100, in 5th place is Cookout, an absolute must-have fast food staple in my opinion. And that's our last score that's below a 90 in the competition because the top 4 are above 90 and they're really close to each other. In fourth place with a score of 91 overall was Fat Burger. In third place with a score that's a little higher at 91.5 was the burger I actually ate right after Fat Burger, In-N-Out, and only off by a difference of 0.5 points with scores of 92 and 92.5 respectively. In second place for the best fast food burger in America, that goes to
There's a heavy unit approaching.
Five Guys, which means that the best fast food burger in the world, in my completely unbiased opinion, at number one goes to Swenson's Drive-In. That's right. I could have just stayed in my backyard and ate it. It's that good. I'm telling you. If you don't believe me, just come here and try it. I promise you will not be let down. And thank you so much again, as always, for supporting this channel. I get to do a lot of fun, dumb stuff for a living. I don't ever take that for granted, and I just wanted to say it again. I really appreciate you guys. And as always, please do not try this at home. I am a professional dumbass. Like, please, actually don't try this. It was a really bad idea.
I know what I like, baby. I like you. This American pie with that IQ. Oh, I do. Just fly right through. We'll get high as a kite in the afternoon.
Hey guys, it's me, the person that you're probably really mad at right now because I didn't rank your burger number one. Anyways, you're probably thinking, sir, yeah, what the f are you talking about? The Swenson's Galley Boy had no vegetables on it. The only thing it had was a garnished olive. Like I said, I think in the video, unless I took it out, I don't remember. But if I left it in, I did say that it's about what the vegetable does, not necessarily the quantity of it. And the olive on the Galley Boy is very, very good. Anyways, please don't beat me up. These are the rankings. Video's over. Okay, bye.
Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend. I'm in, Tenno.
Today we go way back with peanut butter snack. Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning. Before we bust out the peanut butter snacks and get to shuffleboarding, I want to talk about a year that was more important than any of the ones we're about to guess. 1978. You know why that's so important?
Oh yeah, of course. That was the year that Peggy McCarthy of Topeka, Kansas won the 51st annual Scripps National Spelling Bee by correctly spelling the word deification.
I always thought it was defecation.
She
No,
would've gotten that wrong.
that is important though. It's actually because on June 1st, 1978, our good friend Link Neal was born.
Oh.
Happy 2 days before your birthday.
You shouldn't have gotten so early with it.
Yes, and today, as a special birthday treat, we'll be taking a look at the history of one of your favorite foods.
Yes, please. It's time for a Shuffle in Time. Peanut Butter Snacks Edition, Link's Birthday Edition.
Welcome to the Shuffle in Time Zone.
Okay, boy and birthday boy, you're going to taste a peanut butter snack, then shuffle your pucks to the decade you think that product first hit the market. Rhett won last time, so he'll be shuffling first.
Which is a disadvantage.
That's right.
Birthday boy. I can bump you around.
Oh no, Nutter Butter!
Look at what we've done.
The nostalgia. Do you remember my house? And all the Nutter Butters I had? You didn't have them at your house. They were only at mine.
Actually, you couldn't have said that you were a Nutter Butter house.
Dad loved the Nutter Butters. Jim McLaughlin loved the Nutter Butter.
They are so good. I mean,
you didn't look right in that little cabinet?
Maybe I
Stove,
did.
right to the right. Bacon bits on the left. That was your spot above the microwave.
That's where I was.
Stove, right. Cheese whiz, Nutter Butter. They were hiding up there the whole time from you.
These are a quintessential peanut butter treat.
You know, Chase told me a second ago. He said, we got to use the big cloche on this one, boss. He calls me boss. And he said, we got to use the big cloche, boss, because it's hard to find the small ones now. They're only doing them in family size, as far as he knows.
Now get to extraction.
You can get them at the grocery exit.
You probably could. Nutter Butters. They were around in the 80s when I had that cabinet full of them. Like we've always said many times on this show, in this exact format, that if it was in Bowie's Creek in the 1980s, it was somewhere else before that. So 70s is a good guess, but I'm a chess master, so I know that you're gonna bump me regardless, because it's your birthday. So if I go to the 60s, you'll bump me and you'll block me. So I'm gonna land in the 70s to make your bumping a little bit more challenging.
Squirrel hunting, fuckers. Now we wait for the big game. Squirrels.
Ah!
He went all the way to the 20s.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, right? I think my answer is 70s. So I'm just gonna put you into that 1930 corner.
Yeah, you got me. If you lose this round, it's gonna be a bad birthday. Okay, well,
that is ugly.
All right.
No, that is ugly. Now we're gonna be looking at a measurement. If
Wow, we are equidistant from 1970. It's gonna,
Chase,
it's
get
gonna
ready to-
require
get ready to measure,
a
man.
measurement.
It's generally believed that the Nutter Butter was given its iconic design by William Turnier, the same man who designed the Oreo. However, Nabisco contends that, quote, there's no way to know who came up with the actual concept. While the cookies were an immediate success, an ad campaign featuring a character called the Nutter Butter Man was not. It was considered creepy and scrapped after its launch in 1969.
Oh, dang, it just slipped into the 60s. We don't even need a measurement.
I gave it to you, man.
You did.
Here's the Nutter Butter Man.
Is he creepy? Oh, he's creepy. I kind of like it.
You know what's really creepy? The Nutter Butter TikTok. You seen that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, but in a good way. I like it.
Is it that guy?
No, it's just weird Nutter Butters doing things.
I thought.
Anybody else seen that? Yeah. Chase says, yeah, boss. Wouldn't it be cool if Raises time there was a big birthday cake for you under one of these? Not this time!
Even better, this right here is one of the best cereals on the market. And the minis version are even better. Maybe they'll be in a later round.
That would be anticlimactic.
Well, they came out later. I'm really disappointed in my bump last time.
You should be. Okay, these came into my brain after the 2000s.
Yeah, it's a recent addition to the cereal market, but it's taken it by storm.
Well, 2000 is the most recent thing. Again, you're gonna bump me, so what do I care? Actually, I'm gonna do something a little bit more strategic. I'm gonna land short of 2000, so you have to actually do something interesting to get around it.
All right, keep on doing the thinking. That's nice, Red.
Oh, why did it go to the right?
That's nice.
Why did it go to the right? Burbank's not level.
Once again, you've left it completely up to me to destroy my own game.
I wanted to be in the way of the ants.
The birthday boy can do that.
Yeah, he's demonstrated.
This luxurious cereal came about in the late 90s. Because I remember the day it came out. I was working on the farm. I literally was. It was the summer. It was the summer that I was working on the farm. And I remember talking about these things. And that had to be 95.
And when you say you work on the farm, you're building your little ant farm.
My little ant farm?
Right.
All right, I just got to get a little bit past his red nut.
Wait, don't you want to bump it? It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Hush, 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 hush.
Why did it go to the right?
I'll bump you a little bit. Oh, what?
Okay, it seemed like you had a strategy and that lost itself as you were doing it.
You know, I just feel bad for you because it's not almost your birthday.
Okay.
God dang it.
Yeah, you probably didn't win.
This corn puff cereal based on the iconic candy cups debuted with the tagline, "The Reese's you can eat with a spoon." While the formula was eventually changed to have separate chocolate and peanut butter flavored pieces, the original cereal only had one combo flavored puff when it hit the market in 1994.
You were on the farm, you're right.
I told you, man.
94 on the farm.
But of course, I'm giving you the point because I'm a doofus.
Thank you for that. I'll take
it. What's this?
Peanut brittle.
Peanut brittle, one of the few peanut featured things that I don't fancy.
Because my mom would make this.
Can't get it out of my teeth.
Do I look
Did you make it for Christmas?
anytime. Hers was so hard, though. I never told her that. It was hard and glossy. This is actually pretty crispy.
It's too sweet for me. It's not peanutty enough.
Like, it's fitting that you've been giving me these rounds. Because you may not understand this because you were an only child. But in a family where there was other people,
yeah.
When it was my brother's birthday, I would get a gift as well. A small gift. My mom and dad always did that because they were like, we want to tamp down any resentment or jealousy that we built during the other boy's birthday. Give him a little something.
Okay.
Give him a pack of Nutter Butters.
Yeah. I'm giving you a little.
So I'm used to this because if you didn't give me something on your birthday, I would become resentful, and hateful.
But look at how pleasant you are.
This is an old product. Did this come about in the Depression era? I think it's earlier than that.
Times were brittle.
I think it might be 1890, but I'm going to say 1850 because I want to, again, tempt you to bump me potentially into the right answer.
It's hard to use the restraint necessary to end it where you did.
I forgot about the whole right turn thing. I got to anticipate that next time.
I'm going to use a little producerial deduction. Because it can be so old and should be, and you've got 1850 and 1890 on the board, they've created this of the oldest years, which is it debate. Because that's what they do to us.
Are you saying they were hoping for this moment right now? Yeah. Let's see. Chase is like, yes.
And now that they're getting it, boy, Chase is over there. Yes, yes, yes.
That's what Chase does when he's happy. Yes, 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 boss. Yes, boss. Yes, boss.
Let's see. And then the next oldest would be 1920. I just have to get past you.
Yeah, all
on
you do is
1850.
get past
That's all
me.
I have to do.
Yeah.
That's all I have to do.
You don't have to hit me. Just get past me. Like, get right here and you win.
You'll say thank you,
Yeah.
sister. I'll be
Move
on
your
my
foot.
way now.
Or leave your foot there and stop it. Up, that's way too hard. But,
if it's 1850, I got it. If it's anything else, you got it.
All right, 1890. Come on, Stevie.
Legend has it that peanut brittle was created by mistake when a southern woman added baking soda to her taffy instead of cream of tartar.
Whoops!
Though the resulting treat was both peanut-y and buttery, it was actually invented a full 5 years before peanut butter in 1890.
Yes!
Okay, all right.
Yes! Yes, I've given you your little happiness early, and now I'm taking the reins. Say it loud and proud with our new Always Proud pin that Rhett is sporting today. You can shop this pin along with all the other new Pride items on the site, and a portion of proceeds will go to Outright International in their mission to protect the rights of LGBTQIA people everywhere. Support the cause at mythical.com. Get yourself a nice pin. Don't you dare! Oh, please, please, please. Don't you? Please. Oh, look at that.
Oh, Jif Crunchy.
Jif Extra Crunchy. So, Stevie?
Yes?
We are talking about not just Jif. We're not just
Yeah.
talking about Crunchy. We're talking about Extra Crunchy.
That's right, birthday boy.
Well, that is Extra Crunchy.
Huh.
I've grown to appreciate Crunchy over the years, but I
haven't been paying attention to know that there's crunchy and extra crunchy.
Me neither, because I don't go crunchy.
I'm a smooth man.
I like the word crunchy.
I'm a smooth man, but I appreciate.
That's a good nickname, Crunch. Can I call you Crunchy?
Don't call me smooth.
Well, I wanted to be smooth.
Too late.
Call me too smooth.
Okay.
You can be smooth, I can be too smooth.
Okay, too smooth.
Extra crunchy, dude.
So, again, I was thinking that there was just crunchy. I thought they just called it extra crunchy. And that was around in the 80s. Crunchy was. But then, when did they get desperate? When did they get? Because we are in desperate times for many reasons. But one of the reasons that we're in desperate times is every product is trying to reinvent itself, and trying to do things to make people care about them again. When did that start? I think it started in the 2000s. I think it started right around the time that we had the dot-com crash and then the housing crisis. That was when they were getting extra crunchy.
Need a little more crunchy in your life when you're
like, I think this
when
was
you're
like
underwater on your mortgage.
This is like 2005. This is like in between the crises.
That is recent, dude. As recent as you can get on this board. Oh! He has dialed in his aim, but I just don't.